Hello my hungry friends! Today we're making Christmas mushroom soup, zupa grzybowa. Welcome back friends! My name is Anna and this is Polish Kitchen. Here I teach you how to make Polish food. Today we're making a delicious Polish mushroom soup, wild mushroom soup, that we normally eat at Christmas. It's a clear broth with just mushrooms floating in it, and it's a small portion because we normally eat 12 dishes at Christmas. And if you're interested in learning more about Polish Christmas, you can pick yourself up a copy of Polish Kitchen Book of Memories Christmas edition. This is a small 30 recipe book that I published last year, and in it I talk about Christmas, or first I talk about me for some reason, and then I talk about how we spent Christmas at my home. And there's a picture of me and my brother when we're kids.
Aww.
Greetings to my brother. And then I go into the 12 dishes of Christmas, and this wild mushroom soup recipe is also in it.
Ooh.
So it's relatively easy soup. The book, by the way, is available on Amazon, in your nearest Amazon. So just go on and search for Polish Kitchen, or you can search for Anna Herning, which is me, and it should come up. So let's get to it. As I said, this is a relatively easy soup. You start by making broth and then boiling the mushrooms in it, and it's really kind of earthy and dark, and it's really delicious, and it reminds me of Christmas a lot. And we normally have two soups at Christmas in my home. It'll be the mushroom soup, and it'll also be a clear beetroot broth, which we'll get to in a couple days. So let's go. I have 6 cups of water in my pot with a teaspoon of salt, and you can go easy or a little bit more complicated way, and even the more complicated way is not that complicated, and it makes the broth a lot more rich. So I encourage you that you go the more complicated way, which is making your own broth. So you can skip the veggies and just get boxed broth, but I encourage you to do this. So I have a couple, or you need a couple of carrots. I had a really big one, so I have one, and this is a parsley root, and I have a piece of celery root. You can also go for celery stalks, just don't cut it up. And I also have a piece of leek and about half of a small onion that I burnt on just dry pan, or you can just put it on your gas stove if you have a gas stove, just right on a grate and burn it a little bit. And the well-known trio, bay leaf, some peppercorns, and allspice. So all of our veggies are gonna go in, and I have mushrooms, wild mushrooms, that have been soaking overnight. I like to soak them overnight so then they're nice hydrated. So these guys are going to go into our pot, and I have them soaking in about 1.5 cups of water. And I'll show you what they look like before they're hydrated. So these are wild mushrooms that you can find in our forests, and they're available in just regular grocery stores here. I'm going to post a link below this video to where you can buy a nice mixture that I used to use when I lived in America, and they're spot on, they taste the same, really good mix. So if you can get them. So as I said, these were soaking overnight, and this is a nice trick that I'll teach you. For some reason they are never completely cleaned, I guess, or there's sometimes a little bit of sand in the mushrooms still. So when they're done soaking, I like to just pick them off the top and not to disturb the water as much as possible. And then put them in my water here. And then the water from soaking will also go into making our broth. But what I like to do is to first strain it through, you could go with a coffee filter, or I just have a paper towel laid out here. And I don't know if you can see the little speckles on the bottom here, but sometimes it can be just tiny bits of sand, not really a lot or anything, but I feel enough to kind of spoil the pleasure of eating soup. So I'm just gonna put that in here. Bits of mushroom yet. And there's like little speckles of stuff, and it's not a lot, but I like to strain this out. And as soon as this strains out, our broth is going to go on the stove, and all we're doing is just cooking the mushrooms and cooking the vegetables, and our soup will be almost done. So I'm going to strain the rest of this, and I'm going to put it on my stove, and I'll see you in about 30 minutes. We've been cooking our broth for 30 minutes, and now I'm going to take out all the veggies, and I guess it would probably be easier if I strained it, but I'll just use this. And our leftover veggies that are in here can be used for, I like to use it for our traditional Polish veggie salad, sałatka jarzynowa, which is made out of carrots and parsnips or parsley root and everything that you make your broth with. As if you've seen any of my videos before, you see that we cook with leftovers a lot, and why throw it away if we can use it for something else? So my broth has reduced a little bit, and I'm okay with it. But if you want to, you can add a tiny bit more water, but we don't want to dilute it too much. And now the veggies, as I said, will be used for something else, but the mushrooms we'll take out of here, and they'll be diced. They're hot now, so I'm gonna burn my fingers. And they'll go back into our soup. You can pick out the peppercorns and the other spices too. And they'll get diced into kind of long strips. I'll show you in a second. I have this much. I have a mountain of mushrooms, and they're delicious. And I don't want to put a huge pieces like this in there, but I just kind of do a slice. Can you see? Mm-hmm. Like this. They kind of look like flaczki, tripe pieces, long strips, and that's how I like them. But they're mushroom flaczki.
That's how they make vegan tripe here in Poland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yep, out of mushrooms for sure. And what I have sliced here already is gonna plop back in. And there we are, all sliced. And that all goes back into our soup. And as most kind of our aromatic soups like this in Poland, this will do a lot better if it sits overnight. So if you can, make the soup and then cool it and store it in the fridge overnight, and then reheat it the next day. But to finish our soup, I'm adding 2 tablespoons, or maybe I'll start with 1, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And butter makes it kind of smooth and makes makes the eyes on the soup. And I also have 2 tablespoons of cream, sweet cream. So that goes in. And check it out. Makes the soup nice and creamy like this, and then the butter will melt into it. And as I said, our soup is done, but if you can, store it overnight and let the mushrooms give a little bit more flavor to the soup, to the broth, and make it nice and rich. But for our serving purposes today,
yeah,
we have to try it.
I was gonna say, you're not letting this sit overnight.
So we're gonna see you tomorrow.
No.
And then we taste the soup. And as I said, this soup is served as one of 2 that will be served at Christmas. So the portions are not huge. And we normally don't put anything else in the bowl, no pasta or dumplings or anything. But if you were to eat it like this and just as a meal on its own, I would do a small noodle. But otherwise it would just be broth, clear broth like this with a little bit of mushrooms. And since we have to have room for 12 dishes at Christmas, portions are small. So I'm just gonna go like this, 2 scoops. And it looks gorgeous, look. Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I put the mushrooms in and as soon as my soup started boiling, it was already smelling like Christmas in here. This is done. You want to try it? I'll give you some, but I'm going to spill everywhere.
I do. Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, so
Num num.
really rich and kind of earth tones and rich.
It's very rich. If you don't like mushrooms, you won't like this soup. But if you like mushrooms, you will love this.
You will love
soup.
this. It's really good. Just a disclaimer, wild mushrooms should not be fed to small children. So do your research before you give it to kids. But our soup is done. I hope you make it for your family. Thanks so much for all your messages that you're sending me. My love tank is full. I really appreciate all your notes of, what's the word? Encouragement and appreciation, and I love it. Thank you. Thank you for shopping at my merch store. If you plan on getting some gifts, do it now, because it sometimes can take a little bit to get it, because they're custom made every time. Same with the book. Sometimes it can take a little while to get it from Amazon, so start your shopping now. Again, thanks for visiting. Please subscribe. It'll let me know that you want to see more videos, and we'll see you back again on Friday for our Kitchens Closed episodes, when Mark and I, my husband behind the camera, we go out to the city and show you Polish food outside our kitchen. Pandemic allowing. Pandemic edition. And back again on Monday for more recipe videos. Thanks again, guys. See you again soon. Smacznego. That's good soup.
It's very good soup.